Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 57 of Enigmatica 2's Expert Mode series. Today, I want to work on ore quadrupling. How fun does that sound? Psst, a lot of fun. That sounds cool. So ore quadrupling can be done with a chemical injection chamber. Given hydrogen chloride, plus, any of the old ore things, right? You can get 4x of the resources from ores. So this is the next step in the ore system. Mechanism allows you to get up to 5x. I haven't even looked. Maybe I should look. Should I look? Maybe I'll peek. 5x. That needs a lot more stuff. You need sulfuric acid. And a couple more machines, chemical crystallizer. Yeah, so there's a few things you might need, but I mean, aren't we making sulfuric acid already? So we might be able to get into quintuple at some point. I'll need to look at that. I wasn't thinking that yet. But long story short, I want to get quadruple going at least today. So to get this, we need hydrogen chloride, right? So hydrogen chloride needs hydrogen, makes sense, and chlorine. Wow, that also makes sense. Hydrogen we're getting in our ore processing room already because we're using that to power our base, right? Hydrogen being turned into the stuff for the fuel, ethanol, right? Or ethylene or whatever it is. Chlorine we are getting courtesy of our electrolytic separator of brine, sodium and chlorine. Huzzah! So what I did in preparation for this stuff is before I was piping the chlorine directly into a rotary condensator so that it could make it liquid chlorine, which we need for this guy, right? I changed that up a little bit, so now it pumps the chlorine into a gas tank, and the gas tank pumps it into a rotary condensator, so that we store the gaseous version of chlorine in a tank before we turn it into liquid chlorine. And that gaseous chlorine we're going to pipe over to our ore processing room. And I was all set to use pressurized pipes for gases for mechanism, and I saw in JEI that there's a gas conduit from EnderIO. So we're going to try it out, right? How cool does that sound? I feel like that would be really cool to get going because conduits, right? So can you do a bottom output, eject on? And you get a wrench, which I know I don't need. I'm going to say that like every time. Extract always active. Oh, hello, chlorine. Wow, look at that. That is... Dude, EnderIO, you guys are on the ball with your conduits, guys. Let me just talk to you about like how many amazing conduits there are in EnderIO. Can we just talk about EnderIO and how cool that is for a minute? Like, EnderIO, wow. I mean, they don't have any gases, but they have conduits for gases. So that's a thing. So I figured I'd run this chlorine gas straight across my base and right into where we need to be, right? So where do we want this to show up at? I'm thinking, I'm still not entirely sure why there was lava here. Was that just like random world gen lava? It was random world gen lava. What up? We're gonna clear it all out. In theory. Man, there's a lot of it. Oh, we're out of, I should probably be using this anyway. Goodness, there's a lot of lava down here. Just random world gen lava, I guess. Alright, so I'm thinking the gas line can come across here. And what we need is a chemical infuser that needs to combine chlorine and hydrogen. right? And I'm thinking that you don't have a sidedness output, right? So I'm not entirely sure how everything's going to go, but we're going to do our best. So this is oxygen, right? And this is hydrogen, right? So what we'll probably want to do is run this like this. And we can run these tubes up here, and you're going to be set to insert. And we're going to run this guy like so, but you're going to be on not connecting to nothing there. And you, I should probably do something to make sure that you're just not visually connecting, because I don't want any shenanigans going on here. Redstone sensitivity turned on, huh? Okie dokie, if you say so. Alright, so I should be able to extract always active you and set you to output on the bottom. And you're getting hydrogen. Cool. Alright, so then chlorine gas needs to come up this way. We might need a few more gas conduits. Get them cooking. Seems almost certain that we're going to need a few more gas conduits. Maybe I want... Oh, blah, blah, blah. Can I void this somehow? I bet what I could do is rotate you. I'm not sure which side the gas is going to come out of. This one or that one. I guess we'll find out. But it just occurred to me that I might want this here, right? Alright, how's my gas conduits coming along? Beautifully. So let's get you... Does that look cool? And then you're going to make hydrogen chloride. Perfect. Just needs a little power and then we're good to go. Shouldn't be too much of an issue. Dire wire for days. Nice, hydrogen chloride. Now, I don't know what you need by way of speed and energy upgrades, but let's just do the standard speed and energy upgrades. And while we're here, can you make 2 more speed upgrades just so we have an even 8 ready for us next time we want to do this? Cool. Alright, so you're making hydrogen chloride. Will hydrogen chloride come out there? Yes, it will. Beautiful. That's where I want the hydrogen chloride to come out at. So what we're going to do is set up our chemical injection chamber here, right? And we're just going to run this straight back here into there. Does that sound cool? So again, you on the west will not be connected, and... There we go. Cool. And I mean, like, we'll just do this, right? You will be nothing. You will be nothing. I kind of don't want these two to connect, right? And they kind of might. So let's do this first. Yeah, you're going to be a nuisance for me, ain't you? Because I think you still have gas in you, right? If I do that. No, you don't. Okay, cool. Well, that's a neat trick. Does that mean you're getting your hydrogen chloride? I think it does. Cool. So then you are set to accept input on the right. You are going to be setting to accept input on the bottom, because that's where I changed this to be. So on the up, you will be insert items on green, and your gas will also be insert gas, right? And this guy is extracting on green, is active, right? So do we have any ore that we can test this with at the moment? I've got nickel ore. So this, in theory, should get me 4x nickel, right? I think so. I think that's cool, right? We have everything hooked up here. Did I do power in the back? Which at this point probably doesn't need to be the back anymore, but you know, it's all good. Yeah, I think we're good. And then we can cover up the flooring and see if we did a good job with my wiring, right? So you also need some speed upgrades, right? And I think I'm gonna do 4 and energy 8 here. But look, 4 nickel shards. That is cool. Auto eject on. Get your 8 upgrades. Output to there, right? And then you're purifying your 4 nickel. And then you're crushing. And then you're enriching and you're smelting. And we got some nickel. I didn't see how much we got. But I'm going to say we got the 4. So I like it. I think that's cool. I think that's super cool. We're going to put the 4 speed upgrades in there. And you're also going to get the 8 speed upgrades to make more of this stuff. Because I assume we're going to need some decent amounts of hydrogen chloride. I don't know what your buffer looks like, but it looks like it's full. So maybe it's the pipes that we're trying to bufferize now? Yeah. And then that's going to fill up nice and quick. And we've got hydrogen chloride for days. How cool is that? All right, now give me some stone, please. And let's cover up the flooring and make sure I didn't do too terrible of a job with regards to my dire wire. Not bad at all. Yeah, not too shabby. What do you guys think? Not bad? I think it looks pretty nice. Not the worst conduiting in the world. And it works, right? So ore quadrupling is now up and running, right? With that setup. We don't have to do anything else. We're now quadrupling our ores that we get. If we want to validate that, we can get another piece of nickel. Right? I'm going to remove this cable for a sec. We'll drop this nickel ore in here and we'll test the whole line, right? So that guy to 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 that guy. Boom. 4 pieces of nickel. Look at that. Sweet. That is awesome. All right. So ore quadrupling up and running. Just wanted to do that at the start of today. We last episode got titanium going so that we'd be ready for all the fun things that we got going on. So let's get ready for the next stage of all this fun stuff. So does that mean that it's time to get into advanced rocketry? I think it does. So first things first, we need a hollow projector. So I haven't entirely decided yet. So we need an optical sensor, huh? I'm suspecting we might need more of these at some point, but for now we'll hold off on teaching anything. But we're gonna see what we see. Did I need 2 of them? Yeah, I totally did. So we're gonna figure out what how this all goes. I'm not entirely sure where I'm gonna build it yet. I'm looking for some submissions, hint hint, for a rocketry building. I haven't gotten any of those yet. So for now, we'll just kind of build it outside because these machines generally take a huge amount of space, right? They're all multi-blocks and they're all pretty large, right? So I can claim my 10 experience levels, which is a weird quest reward. And we got our titanium. Before you're able to get to space, you can make titanium in the advanced metallurgic fabricator. Titanium can be found in space as rutile ore. Cool. So once we get, you know, the rutile ore thing going, we should be good to go. And I got a fire mill. Yay-ish. 10 of them. Wow, isn't that fancy? To be fair, that ain't terrible. 10 of them. Operates when placed over fire. 4 GP. Not bad, not bad. So, remember the holo projector? Yeah, I remember this thing. That's pretty cool. Nifty, nifty, nifty. I don't remember exactly all the different things we're going to need to get to outer space, but I'm hoping the quests kind of guide me through, and I don't have to jump into the Googles and figure it out. Maybe I will have to jump into the Googles. We'll find out in a bit. All right, so the next quest here is an interesting one. It looks like it's just informational, letting you know that several multi-block machines in this mod use either coils, motors, or both. And they come in several tiers, with the more expensive ones making the machine work faster. But any machine will accept any tier of them. That's something I kind of do remember about the mod. So for the sake of consistency, quests here will always ask for the lower tier ones, but remember you can make your machine with better materials if you can afford it. Cool. Detect and submit. Nice. And then claim our loot reward. Nice. I should go through and see if there's any quests. It's been a while since I've actually, like, messed around with the quests and everything. So, we can now get into rocketry. We should be pretty good on resources for now. The only thing I'm thinking about is, do we want to be concerned about resource production? Because this thing is now done. We've harvested all the ores, to my knowledge, in this area, which is cool. I might, at some point, decide that we need more resources, and what I'll do is I'll move this guy, and we'll set it up in a new area, hopefully, you know, somewhere spiffy, and it'll produce a whole bunch more resources for us. But for now, I think we'll just leave resources alone and proceed with rocketry until we run into a problem. So it looks like we need to make a few machines in order to really get into everything. So these are all the machines that we need to make to get basically started with the mod. And then we can get into circuits. We can make space stations. Oh, remember the space station? That was cool. Building a rocket, spacesuit, getting into outer space, exploring some remote planets. Who's excited? You can tell it's me. I like outer space. I'm a space nerd, so I get excited when I get to play with a mod that has some cool outer space mechanics. I'm really interested to see how this mod works out in 112, because I think the last time I really gave it a shot was in Age of Engineering in 110, and how long ago was that series? Like 2 years at least? So hopefully this mod has made some, you know, even more progression going forward. So wow, we need a lot of machine structures for this. Holy cow, that's a lot of machine structures. The Precision Assembler is a machine that can assemble electronics much more efficiently than by hand using RF. Its main use is in crafting various circuit boards used to craft various machines for a much cheaper cost than their normal recipe. It is recommended to make machines as drastically cuts the cost of other machines. So that should be like probably the first one that we get into, right? The Precision Assembler. Oh boy, that's a lot of steps. But that use of this thing is to make like advanced rocketry related stuff, including this advanced control board thing, which I remember we used for a few other things. It doesn't look like anything outside of the rocketry mod is made with this. So this doesn't speed up the production of any other circuits, but you know, that this thing was used for, I think, the ME controller, and that's about it outside of rocketry. Yeah, that and the black hole controller from Mushroom. Okay, fair enough. So let's get our precision assembler going, right? So we're going to do some teaching of things and stuff, right? So, do you know how to make a repeater? Probably not, right? Yeah, you've got some lessons to take on, mister. How about I make all this required stuff for the precision assembler off camera? Because you guys have seen me teach, you know, recipes in the past, and we'll be back in a few minutes. So it occurs to me, I should probably go ahead and make a cloche, or 3, which I did, because I need 2 things. Sand and sugarcane are 2 things that have been kind of on my let's get around to doing this list, right? So I'm thinking, let's get like 10 chests here. Get a couple drawers. Get our key. Get another drawer so that we can get you. Do we want these to be stopped at 1 stack, or we might as well get 40 full drawer, or just a stack's worth? I don't see the need typically to have that much sugarcane or cactus. Let's start with just 1 stack's worth. And then we'll kind of go from there. Right? So you and you. And this room is rapidly becoming my do whatever I want with it room. A little bit of a mess. Not even going to lie about that. But hopefully we can not be too terrible with it. So if I put my conduits, so let's get you and you and you, because I might need you here and here. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Dupe. And yeah, that works. And then get our cloches popped down, right? Come on, cloche. Don't lock up on me. All right, that was a weird and very giant lag spike, but you guys should get water now, right? And then we should be able to put sand in you. Boop and boop. Right, now I'd like you, actually, if I place you like this, will you be facing the correct way? Yeah, you will. Nice. All right, cool. And that voided my 2 sand. Monsters. Boop and boop. The only thing that's annoying about these guys is I don't think I can power them from the bottom. I don't think, right? I can power them from the top or from a specific side, but not the bottom. But anyway, either way, you're going to extract on brown, just like these guys are extracting on brown. Right? You're going to get cactus and you're going to get sugarcane. And then you just need power to be groovy, right? So I'm pretty sure that doesn't work, right? Yeah, power does not go in the bottom. It can go in the top, or it can go in, I think, here. Nope, I was wrong. Not there. So that's cool. That's annoying because it makes my wiring terrible. It would be so nice if I could power you from the bottom. Is that so much to ask? Power from the bottom? Really, bros? I'm a simple guy. I'm of the opinion that if a machine accepts power, it should accept power from any side. Is that too much to ask? Is that too OP? Direwire is hard enough. Alright, so you go there. Boom. Right, so now you're growing. You're getting power. Nice. That is spiffy. Your internal buffer is filling. You're getting all the juice that you need. And then we're going to take you and go put you in the drawers over here with those 2 bring it down upgrades. Boop, 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 boop. And then you should be getting cactus and sugarcane. Nice. 2 cactus, 4 cactus. Beautiful. How's my smelting factory doing in terms of, wow, it's not doing great. Because the reason this occurred to me is I was setting up my user interface and I need lime dye to make the user interface. And that just starts to get troublesome. So back to setting up recipes and stuff, but very soon, like next smelting recipe we get, I'm gonna have to expand that smelting factory's setup. All right, so if I'm not mistaken, that should be a precision assembler ready to go. Boom, got it, nice. Okay, cool. So that's step 1 of many to get those working. So if we look at this guy and we look at precision assembling machine, it should tell us on the tooltip what's necessary here, right? So it's a precision assembler, some kind of coil, 20 machine structures, a couple glass, a machine structure or output hatch or input hatch or creative power plug or creative input plug or IC2 plug or fluid output hatch or fluid input hatch times 7 Motors, oh my goodness. Shenanigans. I think you can have multiple inputs and outputs if you want, right? So typically we'll just do one. Let's see what the quest book has to say specifically to this. So we need 24 structures. So that shouldn't be too bad to ask for 20 of those. We need more lithium ingots. And we need more calcium sulfate, which I thought we were cool on. Available 24, missing 8. So lithium ingots is something we're a little bit stuck on. And what's up with my calcium sulfate? Because I thought we had that going on. Didn't we have this back here? Oh, you know what? We do, but I never set it up to go into the drawer system. Maybe I should do that. Let's make another drawer with another flint downgrade. Right. And then what we'll do is punch a hole in the wall here and item conduit. And you can be extract always active on brown. So that calcium sulfate, and we can get our other calcium sulfate. 56. I'm going to add you to the trash can list. And then that should start showing up. 60, 64. Nice. And then this thing will start running again in order to produce more calcium sulfate for us. So all that stuff's running, and in theory, that should be cool. Now, lithium, on the other hand, is that something that we got from mining down here? Lithium ore. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. So that should get me 4 stacks of it, if I'm not mistaken. Assuming that this thing can actually process lithium ore. This should get me 4 stacks of lithium ore. So we should be good there right now, right? So that should be good, good. Producing lithium ore. Nice. So lithium is showing up. So now structure times 20 should not be a big deal. Lots of auto crafting needs to happen to make that go. So I'm hitting start. And I hit start. Did you go? Psst, this is the part where you go. 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 Alright, let's try 10 at a time just to be a little bit more courteous. Start. 10's working. Sweet. So all the crafting, look at that. Look at that. Ridiculous. What do you mean no crafting job? Are we running out of power or something over here? We shouldn't be. It looks like it's fluctuating a little bit. Are we hurting for power? I wouldn't think we would be. I mean, it's always possible. This thing doesn't need all that much RF, to be fair. No, it's cool. Yep, lots of crafting happening, so we'll be back in a few minutes. So we do have a little bit of a power problem, mostly because like this one's using 2,000 RF a tick, this one's using 1,000 RF a tick, this one's using 1,000 RF a tick, this one's using... So this whole room is super power hungry to make calcium sulfate, which leads me to 2 potential solutions. Either one, update my entire base to use vibrant alloy conduits, or run a separate power line, right? So ender energy conduits. So this one does 25,000, this one does 125,000. So definitely better, right? Once this thing finishes crafting, my power problems should kind of go away, right? Assuming that you've finished your sulfuric acid processing, right? And you're starting to back stuff there. And everybody else calms down with their sulfur needs and whatnot. Yeah, so everybody else should be chilling now. So now my power problems should be resolved for the most part. So I'm a little bit struggling on power. Just a smidge, if you will, of power difficulties happening here. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, ultimately, is what that comes down to. Because if a lot of machines are running at once, especially those in the back, my power starts to struggle. I'm not like super bad in terms of the buffer. It's not using a lot. It's the power transfer. Like the orange conduits are just not transferring the power fast enough because they don't have enough capacity for all the machines that are running right now. So that's what it comes down to. We'll keep an eye on it, but I'm just giving you guys the heads up, the FYI. So that's going to make the 12 machine structures. We're going to make another 10 in a minute here. I gotta say, though, I'm pretty proud of 10 structure blocks at a time. Because, like, dudes, that's pretty cool. Right? 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 So this guy is going to do his stuff. This thing's a little bit slow. I wonder if there's a faster hardened cell frame. So the Empower can do it. Combination crafting and Draconic Fusion can also do this. So when we get to those points later down the line, because I don't know what this mod is, but it looks like it needs black iron from extended crafting, which is a tough alloy and bar. It might be doable at this point, but I'm not sure. And I also don't know if it'll be faster than the actually additions stuff, right? The only problem here is the speed at which they craft. It's a little bit slow, as you can tell. But that's cool. So now you're making reinforced cell frames, right? See that? Molten lithium happening. Cool. And these guys could be a little bit faster too. When in doubt, tick accelerate. No, don't do that. That's really bad advice. Don't ever do that. Right? And now induction smelter should be showing up. Cool. And we've got our structure frames. All right, 10 more going on now. So back in a minute. Just want to make sure that this actually works. Go. Yay! All the machines lighting up. So I am noting, by the way, that my my stuff here keeps gumming up. So I'm throwing into the inserts here. I'm just going to put a blacklist for each of these things. Just FYI. Hooray! 29 structure blocks. Woot. So now I need copper coils and motors, right? Now these things will, if we upgrade them, speed things up, but that's okay. So hey, that's a really easy recipe. Holy cow, what is this? Are we sure this isn't a bug? I feel like bug reporting this, right? Copper coils, look at that recipe. That's got to be a bug. There's not 15,000 crafting steps. I feel like that's a bug. Okay, cool. So 2 of you, easy peasy. And I'm adding it because I assume in the future I'm going to need lots of them, right? Now, motors in the past have traditionally been a little bit more difficult to make, right? So motor times 2, it's this one, the Volp's basic motor. And that ain't too bad either. See? Told you we were going to need to auto-craft copper coils. So steel plate and steel... I feel like we have steel rods. So could you craft me a steel rod so that I can put the correct one in here? Thanks, Chief. Crafting. Crafting. Much better. Right? Now, if we wanted to, we could upgrade these motors, I presume, at some point. Just for my own educational purposes. Like, we should probably look at what's involved in getting those upgraded versions. I remember when playing in Age of Engineering, though, it not making a huge difference. And, oh, that's not a good sign. Nor is that, nor is... Well, okay, that one's better. But that requires dilithium crystals, which I feel like we don't have access to yet. Right? That's titanium. And that's also steel, but just needs gold coils. So we might look at that. I'm just curious if the broken texture is going to be a problem for me. But we'll, I guess we'll find out if it is. So there's your 2 motors, right? And then we need a power input plug. Power input plug. That needs power input plug. That is that recipe. And these guys are made like that with iron rod, which tell me I know how to make. Yay, I do. Cool. So these are actually not terrible. So I need one of you. That looks very easy to make. I mean, it's it needs more structure blocks, but that's all right. we'll let the work happen, and back in a minute again. All right, a little bit of auto crafting later. Taught it how to do input hatches, which again, I feel like this is a bug. These are so easy to make, except for the need for the machine structures, which are pretty hard. Now I get it. It's basically that the machine structure blocks are your gate, obviously, because that was the gating quest. see how that works? Into the mod, and then once you have those, the auto crafting components are not too terrible. So do we want to what I'm thinking is in general, my rocket ship building can chill right over here, right? So let's put away all this junk that we just collected. Boop-a-doop-boop. Oh, goodbye. Junk. Okay. I might even flatten out the terrain a little bit, but we do have to wrap up the episode pretty soon here. So my question is, at this moment, do we want to get into RF Tools power cells for next episode? Because what we can do, use to connect a power cell multi-block. They don't look too bad, right? And power cells themselves don't look too bad. They need emeralds and a little bit of redstone, right? I like how there's 2 recipes for power cell. One uses the simple power cell. Okay, that's why. Okay. And that uses lots of redstone. All right, so we should be able to do that. Advanced power cell. So this one can store 1 million, or is it 10 million? 10 million, it looks like. Optionally, a big multi-dimensional. Right? The advanced one, I'm pretty sure, is going to need infused diamonds. That's not a terrible recipe for those shards. So we might be able to do the advanced power cell, and then we can link them with power cell cards so that we can have power over here. And we can have, basically with that, using power cells, we should have wireless power available to us. There is, remember, flux networks in the pack. And once we get our first flux core, we can use crafting to turn 1 flux core into 4 flux cores, which Applied Energistics loves when recipes include themselves. It gets very confused usually when that happens. It's like what? That's Applied Energistics when you try and teach it this recipe. But we'll see how it goes. What I'll probably have to do is create a machine that auto crafts these flux cores and stores them in a drawer. So that they're available for use on demand, rather than crafting them on demand. But before we can get our first flux core, we need a dimensional transceiver, which, as we know, needs a quantum entangloper, which requires killing some form of dragon. And we'll have to look into that at some point. So, not sure if it'll be the end dragon, or if it'll be one of these fire or ice dragons. I don't know what's involved in finding those and killing them. I've seen a couple skeletons, but I'm not sure where the actual dragons themselves lie. But at this point, we've got everything we need to make the multi-block for the precision assembler, which we'll probably put in the world next episode. And then we'll start making some of the other machines that are required, like the cutting machine, right? So that's pretty cool. It's required, I think. The crystallizer, various crystals using RF. It only uses our turning dilithium dust into crystals, which will be used for fuel warp drives later on and making silicon buells, a component making basic circuits for more advanced machines. So we might need that crystallizer now. Electric arc furnace, I remember that thing being big and kind of slow. The lathe, I remember that thing being necessary, and the rolling machine. So all these guys need to be made. We'll probably do a majority of the crafting off camera, but now that we have the precision assembler, we can teach it. There's one other thing I'm worried about. And that would be that the item IO circuit boards require printed logic circuits. And the way my crafting system works right now, we don't have a way to make those. And we also don't have a way to automate these circuit boards. So I might need to just make a bunch at a time. It stinks, but it is what it is, right? I don't think there's a way to automate the engineers. Oh yeah, there's an automated engineers workbench. Well, did you look at that? Today I learned. I did not know that was a thing. All right, for now, Devil20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.